Are you cheating on God? I'm Pastor Adam. This is Old Testament Thursday. I'm so glad you decided to tune in, check out, and see what we've got going on today. I ask you this question because, divorce rates are high. People are cheating on people. What does that have to do with the Bible? Well, have you ever thought about cheating on someone or something? Doesn't matter what. What stops us from actually going ahead and doing that? Well, I would say it is deep connection. One of my favorite Old Testament books is the book of Hosea. And if you know about the book of Hosea, you may go, that's a little weird. But it is such a beautiful story about how much God loves us. And so, Hosea chapter 3, if you know the story, Hosea is supposed to go get a wife, and she's not the best wife, and she ends up cheating on him with all these different people. Hosea chapter 3, verse 1, God says to Hosea, go and love your wife again. Love your wife like the Lord loves the Israelites, even though they turn to other gods and love the sacred raisin cakes. What does that mean? Well, the Israelites would go off and they would turn their back on God and they would go follow other gods, and other gods as rituals, sacraments, whatever else that is, hence the raisin cakes. And so, what does this have to do with cheating? Well, Hosea's wife cheats on him, right? And does all these different things. Well, that is exactly what the Israelites do. They turn their back on God, whom they're supposed to put their faith and trust in, whom they've made a promise to, a covenant with, to follow and to serve no matter what, right? And they break that constantly. So what does this have to do with you and me? Well, we are the same way. Yes, I am guilty. I don't always follow Jesus. I don't always do what Jesus wants me to do. And hence, I create idols in my life and I turn my back on God. Maybe you're the same way as me, not perfect, and you get it wrong. But that's okay, because even though we turn our back on God, Jesus Christ still died on the cross and showed his love for us. He laid his life down for us. So what does this have to do with cheating? Well, how do we stop this? We stop this by having a deep relationship with Jesus, one that we feel connected in and that we trust in him. That's why people don't cheat on their significant others, is because they feel a deep connection with them. Well, same thing with Jesus. Whatever you do today, choose to have a deep relationship with Jesus. And here's my challenge. I challenged myself, and I'm going to challenge you every time I send a text, a message, a post, an email. I am going to pray to Jesus and tell him something about my day. Why? Because I'm working on building that deep connection relationship with Jesus. I'm Pastor Adam. This is Old Testament Thursday, and I'll see you next time.